thank you for joining us on the cast. We're doing something new this time, guys. We are adding a video element into the mix, and we're not just doing the audio like we've done so often. And luckily for me, I've got a very charismatic addition to the group that's going to be joining me for the first one. So I'm Nick Malio, marketing here at PROEX Food, and I want to introduce you to Jay Cryer. Jay, welcome to the PROEX Food. I can't just say podcast anymore. I'm going to have to say vlog or some terrible buzzword.
Videocast. What do we want to do?
I don't know. The important part is the substance. The naming part will come second. But Jay, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself to the crowd?
Yeah, Nick, thanks for having me. So my name's Jay Cryer. I recently joined PROEX Food as Business Development Manager. I have actually worked with PROEX Food for around 3 years as they were partners with my last company. And yeah, very happy to have joined the team. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to you today.
Perfect. Yeah, Jay, it is nice. We've had this really natural kind of meeting with you and Mac, who also joined the team. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit, because we have familiarity when we worked with you guys for so long. But do you want to talk a little bit about that, what you were doing before you joined us, what kind of customers you were doing, what kind of solutions you were providing at that point?
Yeah, so when I graduated from university, I joined a company in the UK that specialised in providing bespoke conveying solutions. I worked for that company for just under 5 years, and I was business development as well at that company. And there I focused on obviously sales, but also building relationships with OEMs and agents that would represent us around the world. And that's where the connection to PROEX started to form, as they were actually representing my old company in the US market. And yeah, it kind of spiraled to PROEX recruiting myself with an opportunity to introduce this conveying range to PROEX Food. And I also brought with me Mac Moore, who was a project engineer at my old company for over 10 years. So we, I've sold countless projects that have gone to all parts of the world for many different products in the food industry. So everything from pet food to frozen meat, everything that you could think of, really.
Yeah, perfect. And thanks for Jay, for bringing that up. So, to really make sure everybody understands what we're talking about, this is an entire new vibratory conveyor and distribution system technology that we're bringing on to the company, and where you Jay, and also Mac had come from was a supplier that we'd used on a few installs in the past years. Some really nice vibratory systems. We put on a couple core lines within kind of our core markets. It was just great to deal with you guys. And all these systems are really based on, let's not just do a belt conveyor. There's better technology out there. It's more efficient. It's better at spreading. It's really wastegates and distribution into multi-heads through crosshead feeders. I mean, there's a whole lot of different applications here. And that's really what you and Mac are bringing to the table here. It's not just that we're no longer going out to a third party for these pieces. They're actually in-house PROEX Food designed and made units at this point. Could you talk about that a little bit? What those systems do, benefits, things like that?
Yeah, so traditionally a company would come to us and they would have said, we want to transport the product from A to B. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and we'll touch on this later, because my previous company, we specialised in the conveying, but we didn't specialise in anything. So we wouldn't do the packaging machines, for example, or so we'd take the product from a fryer and then we would transport that product to wherever it needed to go. Now we offer, and this is what we've brought to PROEX Food, is that we've got a range of different conveying equipment that can transport the product, but can also do things like grade the product. We can lane the product. We can do many, many different things. But what's exciting about the fact that we've brought this sort of expertise over to PROEX Food is that now we're able to incorporate this into the PROEX Food existing product line, and now we can offer full turnkey solutions. So the companies I was working in the past, it would be like, yeah, we can work with this company, or like yourselves, for example, yeah, we'll work with PROEX Food, and we'll start here, we'll end here, and then PROEX can take it over. One of the good things about how we add value now to our customer is that we can provide the full turnkey solution. So you know exactly who is responsible for that equipment that's in your factory. And you know, if you ever need spares or if you ever need some support, it's one call, it's one company, and it just makes it a much simpler process. So that's the exciting thing for me and Mac is that we're able to offer what we were offering previously, but now with much more. And it's exciting times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you brought up the integration and kind of the turnkey line solution, because that's really the model of PROEX Food, right? We consider ourselves a global technology company because we do make quite a lot of our own equipment, especially our core mechanicals and our new digital technology and the robot integrations. But we're always looking for best of breed that we can bring in, right? And that's where we had really started to work with you guys, and it's so exciting to have you guys with us under one roof. Well, I can't say under one roof because we are we are distributed throughout the world now. Jay, do you want to talk about kind of where you are and what markets you're serving? You're kind of serving the whole world, but where you are?
Yeah, so I'm obviously from England, as you can probably tell from my accent. I'm
from clue, couldn't tell.
From Birmingham originally. I went to university in Bristol, and I was based back in the Midlands at my old company, and then just before COVID, I actually relocated to Spain because of the role that I did for that company, and what I do for our company is I sell to the whole world. So we had clients in all parts of the world, which meant there would always be a customer awake, whether it would be Australia, whether it would be in Thailand or Malaysia. So I've got family in Spain, and I approached my company and said, look, is it possible? Can we give it a go? And the results, it didn't affect business. Everything just became, because of COVID, it changed the way we do business in general.
Yeah.
And the original plan was, right, I'll be based in Spain, however I will still travel to whichever country. And then for that 2-year period, it was amazing because we were able to close deals from our own houses. Now I'm sort of half and half. So I'm based in Spain, but we've got an office in Poland that I spend some time at. We've got the office in America that I can spend some time at. I'm going to Australia in a few weeks to meet one of our customers. So it's very much a worldwide business, and we've got multiple manufacturing locations, and we would never turn down a customer because they're in some country that we've never been to before. We're open to all business in all parts of the world.
Yeah. I'm really glad you brought that up too, because that's one of the things we're bringing in. We still have you and Mac designing these, and we're going to drag Mac onto one of these podcasts at some point. He's a little reluctant at this point. We're going to charm him.
Let's just tell everyone. So me and Mac, many years working together. Mac had 10 years of experience as a project manager designing this equipment. So like I said, my degree is in business, and I'm just finishing my PGC now, and that's in coaching and mentoring. So I am non-technical. So me and Mac are a team. He's the brains, and I'm the talker. I go out and I meet with the people, and I handle the commercial side of things. And Mac is customer facing as well. But Mac is more, he's doing the designs, he's doing the drawings, he's coming up with the correct solution. So a lot of the times companies will come to us and they'll say, we can't exactly find this solution on your website, but we need something that does this. And that's where, our engineering team, so we've got multiple engineers that do this, but in particular on the conveying line, it's Mac that works with me, and he will, you know, sit down with Daniel and some of our other engineers in the company, and he will come up with the concept. But he doesn't really like being in front of the camera. So although we tried to invite him today, he kindly turned us down, didn't he?
He did, but he did it in a very, very nice British way. So I think he told me to do something unfortunate to myself, but it sounded very charming. So I'll take it. But you know, that's actually the part I want to bring up. So obviously you guys have been designing these for a while. And just to be clear, we are redesigning these concepts. It's all going to be PROEX Food original equipment that we're coming out with. But now this is where the exciting part is. This now feeds into our global manufacturing model. So we can actually build these at multiple locations around the world. That helps us with bandwidth. It helps us with cost. It helps us with time of delivery. All of those are really going to be improving because that's just our model here at PROEX Food, is to really have that very expandable reach and an ability to move things around. So we're really excited about that part as well.
Just to give people watching an idea, so I recently sold a project in Poland, and logically we use our Polish manufacturing location there. However, if we sell a project to an American company, we might decide to manufacture it at our facility in America. So what it does is it allows us to reduce lead times. It allows us to be, you know, flexible, and we can eliminate the, you know, the costly delivery, which, you know, was an issue. Previously worked for a UK company. You know, you got to take 8 week shipping into consideration to get it over somewhere. Whereas because we've got multiple locations, it allows us to sort of minimize that disruption to our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that too, you know, Jay talked about kind of some of our centers of excellence, mainly around our main office buildings, which are here in the U.S. I'm in Wisconsin in our office, and then we do have a Warsaw office for sales and warehousing. But we actually have additional manufacturing locations as well, both in Europe and in the U.S. So it just gives a whole lot of flexibility. And I don't want to go too deep into that conversation. I just want to make sure our audience knows is we really have quite a large manufacturing network, and that really makes things run smoothly for our company. So, you know, we don't want to get too deep into the conversation today. We really just want to kind of introduce Jay to the world. And we're going to have a series of these. I won't bug him on everyone. I'll have some more guests on as well. Sorry, Jay, but we'll make you the star of this one and a few more.
We'll see what the people want.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to start doing some deeper dives after this episode into some of the vibratory kind of core categories and core pieces of equipment and solutions we're going to have. And I don't want to do too much. You mentioned we're a very global company. What I'd like to talk about is commonalities, right? So part of the reason that we're pushing vibratory solutions, and actually we do call it the Vibratory Solutions team. I want to be very clear, and you're going to see this when we get into other products. There is also a block breaker and cluster buster and grading system for frozen processors. That is a large part of this business unit. We consider it part of vibratory. It's not really necessarily a vibratory solution. There's some different mechanical forces, and we're going to get into that when we talk. But I just want to make sure everybody knows that that's part of the special sauce we're going to be bringing here as well. But back to the common problems. So, you know, Jay, when you think about all the different customers you've helped in the past, you know, what are some common problems you see that we're trying to help those customers overcome?
Yeah, okay. So it could be as simple as wastage, product wastage, efficiencies, accuracies. And I suppose a big one in today, and you know, this has been an even bigger issue post-COVID, is reducing operators. Companies that were very sort of labor reliant came up short when suddenly, you know, lots of people were phoning sick or gone off, and recruiting became difficult. So a lot more people focused on automation, and you know, for example, you just touched on the cluster busters there, and just like you said, we'll go into this in more detail in later episodes. But to give up the listeners an idea of what that is it's a machine that's been designed to separate big blocks of frozen product. Now, it works in two parts. So it will take the big block down to what we call the clusters, and then the clusters down into individual pieces of product, which is obviously the machine is designed based on what the client needs. So not every client needs it to be perfectly separated. They might just need, you know, a small cube under whatever size.
Yep.
But why this is so important is because there's still companies that have got operators manually separating these blocks of product, and they're leaving themselves exposed to injury claims. And, you know, so many companies will discover our solution because they're doing the research, because somebody's got injured. Whereas what we really want to do is we want to speak to people and say, look, we can make your life so much easier. We can automate it. We can feed it with like a lift and tip system. So all you're doing is sliding the product at ground level, and the rest is automated. So it's tipped into the machine, completely separated into whatever your desired sizes are, and then it's fed onto a conveyor, which then we can add grading screens to remove any excess. If you're doing a product and you're getting excess pips, or you've still got some ice on the product, we can remove that. So I guess the most important thing for us really is helping customers to improve all aspects of their operations, whether that's saving money, improving quality, whatever it is. We are solution providers, so we're not here to sell you a product. We're here to work with you to find a solution that solves whatever issues you're having. So it is very much a two-way conversation. Let's talk. This isn't a hard sell. You know, even if you're not ready today, we will always talk to you and let you know what we would recommend in your situation. And the other thing to take into consideration is we always take the future into consideration when we design machines. So we always try and allow it to be future proof. So you can expand it very easily as your company continues to grow and maybe your throughputs become higher.
Absolutely. So, you know, when we started this little piece, we're talking about the problems, right? And labor is definitely numero uno. I'll add some Spanish, my very limited Spanish, since we have the guy from Spain on the line right now. But in those labor shortages actually really started before COVID, right? I mean, a processor job and a line job in a processing plant isn't fun, especially if you're talking about a frozen product. I mean, you're usually in an environment that is below freezing. It's middle of July, and these guys are going to work with sweatshirts and multiple jackets on, and are very cold all day long. So they've really had recruiting problems that started long before COVID, and it's only gotten worse. And even over, you know, what Benny would consider the economic recovery post-COVID, everybody's still having a really hard time filling those specific spots, which is a lot of what PROEX Food as a whole is really trying to fixate ourselves on, is how do we solve for those labor shortages. But the other part, and I know we're going to get more details, the hygienic piece. You were mentioning how we're future-proofing the design. And, you know, we've had conversations with Mac and the rest of our engineering team on, you know, how do we really make this product that's a great product even better? And, you know, when we're putting our name on it as well. And hygiene is really coming up a lot. And I know they're working on different motor mounts and different profiles and different materials and different non-flat surfaces. And we've had the 45-degree angle conversation so many times on some of the shaker pans. We're going to get into that. But we really are focusing on hygiene within these pieces too, right? Efficiency within electrical consumption and hygiene. Would you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, so so basically myself and Mac have come from a company that was very well respected in the industry, and one of the global leaders really in conveying. And the question was, how can we take the knowledge that Mac has gained from designing this equipment for years but turn it into our own for PROEX Food? And like you said, one of the big focuses is on the hygienic side of things. So whether that's, like you said, reducing any angles where there could be any buildup of any bacteria.
Yep.
The ease of cleaning, the speed in which a customer can clean the machine and switch products or at the end of the shift. So there's been a lot of focus on that, and the other thing that we are doing is also looking at this from an engineering point of view.
Yep.
So, you know, a vibratory conveyor is a very reliable and long-term investment, because they can last 25, 30 years. It's not unusual for us to see equipment that's been there 30 years. But they obviously need basic maintenance. So another thing that Mac's been doing is looking at how he can make that maintenance easier for customers, so they're not relying on us when we sell it, because they could be in a completely different continent to us, but they will have that ability to make basic changes to things like the leaf springs, the way that the new conveyors are designed, that will allow them to be, self-sufficient and not be reliant on us. And that is something that we really want to push. So, we already had the knowledge of how to design the most reliable and well-respected equipment in the market, but we've taken it to a new level now, and we've made it ready for 2023 and onwards.
Yep. Absolutely. Perfect. This particular call, we're not going to get too deep into everything, and there's going to be a whole series of these, so I don't want to go any further. But what's the best way for people to contact you to talk about our vibratory systems? And just, I'm going to flash up our two main office phone numbers on the screen, and you can get to Jay. I think it's menu option 2 on both of our phone lines to get to vibratory systems to talk to them, and it'll run you through the menu. But what's the best way to get a hold of you, Jay?
The best way to get hold of me is via my mobile. I'll give you that number now, and maybe you'll be able to put it on the screen
Yeah, sure.
as well. So with the English, because I still use an English phone, just purely because it's easier to make international calls. The English company was a lot easier to work with than the Spanish company. So,
oh yeah, if somebody dials a phone number in Spain and we hear you, it's going to be very confusing, right?
Exactly. And I went to every Spanish phone company and said, "Do you do a contract where I can ring America?" Oh no. Oh, they would not do that. But luckily in England do. So my number's +44 7961 914 262. But you can always email me at that's Jay, Cryer, Cryer, at proexfood.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn /Jay Cryer. And yeah, I'm always available. You can WhatsApp me, you can send me a message, you can call me anytime. We've got agents in Australia. We've got customers worldwide, so I'm always available. You can call me anytime, and I'll always be happy to help. And if it's a question that I don't know as a non-technical engineer, I will be happy to introduce one of our engineers and for us to get together, have a Teams call where we can fully discuss and understand your requirements, and yeah, just talk about how we can help and how we can work together. And I hope if there's anybody out there that's thinking about potentially investing in their processes, just give us a call.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, Jay, thank you very much for giving us that information. And we're going to keep this real high level. We're going to do the deep dive coming up. But is there anything else you'd like to add for today?
Not really. Just to make people that are listening just be aware that at PROEX we offer so many solutions. We've got such a brilliant engineering team with many years of experience. So always come to us. Whatever the solution it is that you're looking for, we can do it, whether it's conveyors, belts, robotics, harvesting. We are a very efficient company with a lot of experience in many different areas, and we've got some of the best brains in the industry working on all these new projects and new product ranges and everything. So come and see us. And like I said, it's not a hard sell. We're not trying to sell you something that you don't potentially need. We want to work with you to find a solution that you're happy with. And, you know, you'll see some of our videos on our website. We've got some brilliant customers that have been repeat customers for years. And
Yes.
yeah, we just hope that we get a chance to speak to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just one thing I'm going to add to that before we wrap up is, you know, PROEX Food traditionally, we've really been a fruit and vegetable processor forward company, you know, mainly sweet corn, peas, green beans, potatoes and root crops, fresh cut fruits and vegetables. I think I said green beans. Those have really been our core markets, and leafy greens. Actually, there's a whole new leafy green piece coming out, and actually the vibratory systems work fantastically for transporting leafy greens and salad mixes. But you know, when we step into this whole world with Jay and Mac and the rest of the vibratory group that we're going to keep building up, it does expand us into some more areas as well. So now, you know, one thing we're focusing on here is poultry. We're looking a little bit more at fruits and berries, and especially in the IKF world, a little bit separately. There's an opportunity here for pet food, for pharmaceuticals. So, you know, these systems, especially the vibratory side, you know, really do have a large scope of offerings, still typically within the food manufacturing world, but there are some other avenues as well we can go. So just want to make sure everybody know we really want these systems to be out helping a lot of people in a lot of areas. I had to throw that little piece out. It's just the marketer in me, just always got to get that constant message, right? But
That's
yeah,
good. It's good.
perfect.
There's just so much information to get out there.
Yeah,
But guys, the best way to find out is by coming and talking to us.
absolutely. Absolutely. So perfect. Well, like we said, we're going to have more of these coming up. Today's a little high level with Jay. Jay, I want to thank you for taking time out of your quite busy schedule. He's been hitting the phones hard, everybody, and he's looking forward to your call as well. But thank you very much, Jay, for taking your time. We're looking forward to having more of these. It's been great having you and Mac join us on the team. It's been a lot of fun the last couple months, getting this all worked out and evolving our product line. So thank you very much. And I hope we can talk again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, for having me on. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening.
Perfect. Thanks, Jay.